Yeah, they wanted to just fake you out.
Set it all up prior.
If you're paying attention.
So let's.
Yeah, that's definitely what is going on. Let me hit the start streaming button so everything could collapse and fall.
Looks like it's going.
Let's see.
Today we should have a good today we should have a good show.
Prior.
Unlike every other time.
Looks like it's going. Today we should have a good today we should have a good show.
No. Please take over. Thank you.
I'm pumped. You know what makes our show is bringing somebody else out and not having us talk.
Let me confirm that.
Please take over. Thank you.
So hold all the juicy info.
So
we seem to be missing a few people.
So we're streaming now, right? Everybody can hear us.
Let me confirm that. So hold all the juicy info.
Yeah.
We seem to be missing a few people. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
You know what?
We're being a little
kind of diva.
Let's go to the heads, huh?
Now. You know what? We're starting to get a little fanfare. People just show up when the hell they want to show up.
Yeah. We're being a little. Go to the heads, huh?
Yeah, you got Jimmy in the streets, and he thinks he doesn't have to show up for his regular gig.
No.
And then the intern is literally talking to me about 2 minutes ago, so I had no idea why he's not on.
What is the old football saying?
And
availability is the best thing you can have someone along that line?
To the job on time.
Wait, your best ability is availability.
I think that's what availability is the best thing you can have someone along that line?
Yeah. That's why Eli is one of the best ever.
Wait, your best ability is availability. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, you're right on point. That's why Eli is one of the best of all time. He's always available. Granted,
because this week we got this.
This week it didn't seem like he wanted it. I wish he wasn't available. But, whatever.
Yes, we are live and...
I'm calm now.
Go ahead.
Because this week we got this.
Mm-hmm.
That's called an interception, jerk off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just want to put out there I forgot who it was. I was reading the comments, and somebody put, "Oh, Roger Lewis should have read that ball that Eli got picked off." No, Roger Lewis was almost bailed out.
I'm just hoping
Eli
it was an off night.
by ripping the ball out of the guy's
Let's just say that.
Right.
But it looked like more of a pass to the defender than it was to the receiver.
Yeah. I'm just hoping it was an off night. Let's just say that.
I'm hoping it's off night as well, but I'm telling you right now, I don't see what they saw during the preseason how John Jerry is starting. If there was an actual competition this summer, then there's no way that John Jerry should be starting. I know the Giants franchise is big fans of John Jerry, and they're real cool with him. But
yeah, we're already getting the comments about
benching John Jerry. That's what he should be.
Hey, what's up, David? How you been?
You're too old.
David from the UK is
getting beat on stunts
in the chat.
Constantly.
Yeah, we're already getting the comments about benching
international.
Hey, what's up, David? How you been? Yeah, David from the UK is in the chat.
I like it.
Yeah. International.
You know what? You want to tell
we have one definite guest, tonight? And we have one probable guest.
About
so a desk attorney said he was going to call in around
guest?
10:30, and we have an interview with.
We have one
Daily
definite
beat
guest,
writer Pat Leonard,
and we have one probable
already been done.
So a desk attorney said he was going to call in at
David said it's 3 a.m. in the morning over here, and he's already so drunk.
New York Daily News beat writer Pat Leonard.
It is 10:05 over here.
Already been done.
Yeah, that was me in the street.
And I have a style.
David said it's 3 a.m. in the morning over here, and he's already so drunk. It is 10:05 over here.
Yeah, it's his big moment.
You want? Well, you know what? I'll wait till James gets on. I'll give him a couple minutes to get on to give the news.
Correct.
Especially because I want him to be here, especially after our discussion between us three this morning. You know what I'm talking about.
Is that a
Marco.
big deal, no deal?
As far as somebody
little
dancing. I want to have that. I want to have that discussion, and then what we found out today.
Yeah. I know.
Is that a big deal, no deal, little deal?
Oh, as far as him dancing, you already know what my thoughts on that.
Yeah.
It's absolutely a nothing deal. I know. I'm going to talk about James, even though he's not here. I'm sure he's listening, or he's about to call in.
Mm-hmm.
James doesn't want our players to be doing anything during the season. Period.
No.
You should go to the game, go to practice, go home, lock your door.
Correct. Everything there is correct.
Windows, don't talk to anybody. Period. Read your playbook. Get better. Just go home. That's all you want to do. Don't talk to anybody. Period.
Correct. Everything there is correct.
Read your playbook. Get better. Just go home. That's all you want to do. Losing is not an issue. But if he sees you doing something fun and you lost that week, or you didn't play, it's all hell's breaking loose. And Odell was seen, I think it was last night, in the club with Russell Westbrook, dancing like he does every day. You see him on TV. And some people thought that was a big deal. I just want to put to the people out there that, one, Odell would have played week 1. It wasn't his choice. Hence, then McAdoo came up to him, whispered in his ear, pretty much probably, hey, we're going to sit you out this week. Maybe being a little overconfident, thinking that we could beat the Cowboys regardless. You know what? And, he's out dancing, whatever. He was dancing for the past 2 weeks prior to this in practice. So I don't see what the issue was.
It's confirmed.
He was doing it in the club, the past Westbrook. And unconfirmed, Marco was also there.
Yeah, it's not like it's a huge... I was in the VIP.
It's confirmed.
It's not like it's a huge dance floor. It's pretty small. Basically, they had everyone made a circle.
It's not like it's a huge...
they had a dance.
I was in the VIP area. Let's make that clear. It's not like it's
but I will let Jimmy come on if he ever wants to come on.
Huge dance
and defend
pretty
himself.
Small. Basically, they had everyone made a circle and they did, they had a dance battle.
Yes.
But I will let Jimmy come on if he ever wants to come on and defend himself.
Yeah. And I want to put it out there, Marco, you are in the medical field.
Yeah.
So please,
it's not like
most
people think of an ankle sprain, they think of a basketball
ankle sprain.
You roll your ankle or something like that.
Dancing is not going to be an issue.
That will give you a hard time.
No, it shouldn't be an issue. It's not like
mostly high ankle sprains is a lot
of ankle sprain. They think of a basketball ankle sprain when you roll your ankle or something like that.
So you won't be able to jump or cut. But
that will give you a hard
sliding
time.
Stuff like that, walking normal, it shouldn't be a problem.
Mostly.
And we're talking about like a freak athlete that we don't even understand.
So you won't be able to jump or cut, but sliding stuff like that and walking normal, it shouldn't be a problem. And we're talking about a freak athlete that we don't even understand.
Yeah.
Right.
We have no idea how bad it was. Now, we've heard in the past that people have high ankle sprains, and it really hinders them for probably 6 to 8 weeks. But there was a possibility that Odell was going to play week 1. That was 3 weeks after it happened. You know what? I can deal with him being out a week because we were all scared during that preseason game that it was a knee, and he'd probably be out for the season. And obviously, and you guys see what our offense looks like when Odell's not out there.
Yeah.
So, to the Mara and Tish family, pay Odell now, or you're going to have to pay him a lot more if our offense keeps looking like it is. The price tag just went up. And this is what I was explaining to friends that I was watching the game. With Odell not out there, the matchup problems aren't there. Then you have Sterling Shepard, who's a good receiver. You have Brandon Marshall, who's a good receiver. You have Ingram, who's a good tight end. The offense is just normal when Odell's not out there. Odell's out there, then two people are doubling Odell. If they're not, they're stupid. you got people doubling Odell. Then you got to worry about Shepard in the middle. You got to worry about Ingram. You got to worry about, Brandon Marshall. He puts a whole different dynamic when Odell's in that game. And even running game wise, they don't.
It's a whole different game when he's out
box.
There. And we
they
learned
can't really
that.
Pay us, man up.
The hard
if Odell's in there.
The 3-point line.
Which he loosens up the box as well.
It's a whole different game when he's out there. And we learned that the hard way. The 3-point line.
Yeah. Absolutely. Now, Eli was definitely rusty. And you know what? I'm going to give him week 1 because he's not the only person I saw it from, not only on the Giants, but throughout the league. There's a lot of teams that look bad. A lot of people look bad. Because essentially this is their first full game action, all season, since last season.
Right.
So let's get people get the rust off. Granted, I can't stand losing to Dallas. But, it is what it is. We weren't at full strength. Dallas was. We didn't think we were going to play Dallas with Ezekiel Elliott. They had Ezekiel Elliott. And I just want to put out there, as far as I think the Dallas coaches messed up. They're not running Ezekiel as much as they should have.
Maybe they want to get him more involved this year. He barely threw last.
They ran a spread offense. I really think they almost tried to bail us out. Spread offense and almost put a little more pressure on Dak to throw.
Maybe they want to get him more involved this year. He barely threw last.
Possibly. It worked out this time, but I definitely think, they're going to play with fire to keep on doing that. Especially, I think Dallas plays Denver this week, right? You sound right?
You're all unmuted.
They do.
Yeah.
Give me a second to work things out over here on my end, guys. Go ahead.
It's...
Unmute me.
You're all unmuted.
You're not muted.
Give me a second to work things out over here.
Here's the deal.
Go ahead.
You got the divas that came in. That WO shows up when they want to show up.
Listen, here's the deal. Here's the deal.
Goddamn right.
This is the way that it is. All right? Odell Beckham should have played Sunday. And if they somehow think that they could have won this game without him, then our front office has a lot of learning to do.
Oh, see, I disagree there. I think they could have won the game without him.
But they didn't. Because
but they could have.
You're right. They could have. But the bottom line is that they have developed this offense in a way that is reliant upon Odell Beckham. And the only thing that they've done by not having him play, at least suit up, is guarantee that he will get every dime that he is asking for. Because now they know what life is like without him.
But guys, do we 11 of the last 18 games, 7 games in a row. Did Beckham play in those games? They haven't broke 20 points in 11 of 18 games. Last 7 games in a row. Beckham
they
just
scored more
missed
than 3
this last game.
Well,
Beckham just missed one game.
And I'm with you with that, which I think Odell makes it even scarier because we wouldn't have scored those points without Odell.
Guys, so sometimes your quarterback needs to make a goddamn play.
I agree.
Yeah, and that's what we're saying. He can't do it without Odell Beckham.
No, bullshit. He could. He had guys open all over the field the other day.
So then why didn't he make the play?
Phenomenal question. According to Pat Leonard, when I spoke to Pat tonight from the Daily News, according to Pat...
It's Pat Leonard.
It's Pat fucking Leonard.
All right, go ahead.
But according to him, he thinks it's a little bit of both. He thinks it's Eli being Eli and the fact that Eli may be a little shell-shocked from the offensive line. Me, I think that's a fucking excuse. Step up in the pocket and make a throw. Step up in the pocket and make a throw.
You're exactly right. I appreciate that information from Pat. What I'm about to say is not in relation to that specific piece of information, but if Eli Manning is shell-shocked from the offensive line, that is bullshit on Eli. Because that offensive line didn't play poorly enough for Eli to lose. They played well enough for him to win. That's the nature of offensive lines in football.
Guys, read between the lines. What did McAdoo say in the offseason? I mean, what did he say? Quicker feet, progression. Quicker feet about Eli, progression. He took shots at Eli. What did he say the other day? Did you guys see the comments that he said the other day?
No, I didn't.
That, yeah, you could throw it on the offensive line, but yeah, sometimes your quarterback needs to make a play when the pocket's dirty.
Oh,
sometimes
100%.
the pocket's not clean, and your quarterback needs to make a throw. There was ample opportunities to score some points in that game. He hit Shepard on in stride on the slant going in the beginning of the third quarter. He walks into the end zone. The ball's behind him. He gets tackled. You can't get in.
Yep.
He has Marshall one-on-one on the play that he gets sacked, okay, on that same drive, on the play that he gets sacked that makes it settle for a field goal. He has Marshall one-on-one. It's obvious. He has plenty of room to get him the ball, either on a fade or a back shoulder throw. Great question. I don't know. I'm not Eli Manning. But don't sit here and tell me that there's not opportunities or they're not good enough to win without Odell Beckham Jr. That's bullshit. With that defense, when you got that defense and your quarterback's making $20 million, make a damn play. Because if your quarterback wasn't making $20 million, you can pay a lineman. So if your quarterback's not good enough to avoid that pressure and make the throw and make those linemen better and make those guys better, then maybe he shouldn't be making $20 million.
Well, and that's my bet. Yeah,
you can bet that when his contract comes up, he's going to try to get paid.
No, he's done with his contract as far as getting paid like that.
Yeah, he's not going to make what he made last year.
Yeah, but at the end of this contract, he's not going to. Even if he does play beyond this contract, he's not going to get paid like that.
He shouldn't be getting paid like that now.
No, I'll give it the week. It's week one. Just like Jimmy was saying to us during the loss. Hey,
I won't
relax.
give it week one. Here's the problem, Tim. Here's the problem. I've been an Eli Manning enthusiast / apologist for a long time. For a long time. But
guys,
this is what I'm saying.
It's not just those plays. This is
where
plays,
I'm
guys.
at with it. If you
how about the 3rd and 6? How about hold on, wait. What about the 3rd and 6 play? What about the 3rd and 6 play where he has a shit ton of time and he has Marshall running in the middle of the field by himself, and he doesn't even give him an opportunity to turn into his route because the ball is gone 2 yards short of the first down, inaccurately. It's thrown high, and Shepard gets lit up 2 yards short of the first down. And if you watch the film, there's tons of room for Eli to step up in the pocket, wait a second and a half, and get rid of the football. And there's numerous plays like that, guys. Numerous.
Because all Brandon Marshall has to do on that play is turn in, and he's wide open.
Which he
the
did.
The safety was so far back there.
You know what, guys?
Which he did. If you let the film play out, the ball's gone. Brandon Marshall turns in. If you look at the film, The pocket is there. What is the problem?
No, I totally agree with you guys, and as just like Justin, I'm a Eli Manning apologist. I've always been, and I've always been pumped up about Eli. But this is the first game that I was like, what the hell was going on? Now Eli he's always good for a shit interception. Let's be honest. But he always makes up for it. He's 2 minutes, so much time to go in the fourth quarter. He's a fourth quarter quarterback. He always has been. He was always on his money. He did not show it this game. But it is week 1, and I saw a lot of people look like crap week 1 this throughout the league. So I'm gonna try to relax, and I'm gonna believe in Eli, and I think he's gonna turn it around. If he doesn't, he doesn't. Then you know what? It's maybe Father Time, wins. Got him a little earlier than we thought. But I think Eli will turn it around. And just like you guys talked about, the quarterback should make the offensive line look better, and Eli's always done that in the past. I'm waiting for him to do it again.
See, I'm of the thought where I think, and I've said it before. I don't think Eli Manning is the kind of quarterback that can carry you for a 16-game season. I just don't think it can happen. He's not. He's not a guy that's going to lift your guys up during the course of a 16-game season and be the difference for 4 or 5 wins throughout the course of the year. He's not that guy. But if you put a solid team around him and you put him in a position where he can win, he could be deadly in the right situation. This offense, I don't know if it's a fit for him. This offense is predicated on accuracy and timing. Eli's always been a downfield guy. I know that the numbers have said a lot, but there's something, I don't know, man. There's something off watching him in this offense where, sometimes he gets rid of the ball so early for no damn reason.
Yeah.
And just for no damn reason.
We saw it in the first half.
It's just like he's trying to get rid of it to get rid of it.
10 yards.
It's just like he's trying to get rid of it to get rid of it. And
there were two specific plays. It has to do, and James, you touched on this a little bit earlier. It has to do with pocket awareness.
Yeah.
There were two specific plays where Eli stepped up in the pocket, and by stepping up in the pocket, he granted himself all the extra time that he would need to settle, recompose himself, and make a play.
Make a throw.
And that's the difference between the way that he played on Sunday night and the way that Dak Prescott played. Because we put some pressure on Dak Prescott.
Guys, how about
Dak was able to move, recompose, and make the throw.
Yeah,
guys, how about the pass to Marshall coming over the middle, where Marshall is wide open in the second window, and the ball is 10 yards
way
behind him.
Yeah, always behind.
I mean, what? Again, I'm an Eli fan. I'm not bashing his career. I'm calling it as it is based off what we've seen over the course of the last 1 or 2 seasons. And in this offense, he has a hard time on these short timing routes, hitting guys in stride, making the throws in the windows. And his success rate when it's not Odell Beckham Jr. isn't very good. The numbers between throwing the ball to Odell and throwing the ball to receivers not named Odell, there is a stark difference in those numbers.
But over Eli's career, and you guys know it, he's always had one receiver he focused on.
Yeah.
Whether it was Akeem Nicks, whether it was Victor Cruz.
Hold on, wait. Here you go. Targeting Odell Beckham Jr. Eli Manning completes 63% of his passes. He has thrown 35 touchdowns to 7 interceptions for a passing rating of 111.4.
Okay.
Anyone else anyone else. Pick a receiver he's played with.
Over what
any receiver he's played with.
And I understand the stats, but over the years Odell's been here, who the hell has been the other receiver?
59.5%. 285 touchdowns to 209 interceptions. Passer rating of 79.9.
Mhm. And I understand that, but the stats don't. The stats put out there, and it is on Eli a little bit, but it's also the people he's passing to. It was the Ruben Randall.
Dude, that's over the course of 10 years.
I thought you were talking about
10 years.
Okay.
No, it's Odell versus everyone else.
Okay. Well, I'm just
so
going by.
Could it be that when Eli's throwing to this kid who is an otherworldly talent, like any other quarterback that would be throwing to this kid, Eli's numbers are off the charts. But over the course of his career, Eli has shown that Eli is captain inconsistent unless the team is good enough to get him in a good spot, and then the dude gets hot and gets you there and makes plays in big moments. And God bless him. That's great. But call a spade a spade.
You know what? I don't totally agree. Let's put it this way. I want to see what his stats were when he passed the Plexico.
Tim, that's everybody else, Tim.
Steve, no, I understand it's everybody else, but you're also lumping all those crappy receivers in there with the good ones as well. So that messes with the stats. You can have as far as stats, you can have stats say anything you want, just the way you want to. It just matters how you want to do them.
Okay.
I mean,
so here's the thing, Tim.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, Tim.
Yeah.
You watched that game Sunday?
Okay.
Mhm.
So, and I want to discuss this as its own separate topic because it deserves to be that. But right now we're talking about Eli Manning. How, if you're Eli Manning, Odell Beckham hasn't been practicing for 2 weeks. What have you been doing? He couldn't hit the broadside of a barn.
Nope.
Brandon Marshall, his receiver, his quarterback on his side of the field fell down. He tripped. There was no one within 60 yards of him. Eli steps up and throws it on the outside hand and hits him on a line drive pass in the hand as hard as a rock. What are you doing? And what are you doing with your practice time? Odell's not practicing. Brandon Marshall practiced for the last week. What the hell are you doing? Brandon Marshall is a six-time Pro Bowler.
And I don't want to sit here. I don't want to sit here and act like because I don't want anyone listening to think that I'm giving the offensive line a pass. I'm not. There's changes that need to be made. They need to play better. We all agree. But, they didn't play bad enough to cripple the offense. Can they have ran the ball better? Yes. Your quarterback needs to make a throw, people. Sometimes when you're paying a guy $20 million, the quarterback needs to step up and make a play and make a throw to change the momentum and to get your team rolling.
And I totally agree with you. I just want to put it out there. I was more defending Eli as a career quarterback, as what you were saying.
Well, no one's bashing his career.
No,
I'm not bashing his career, but I mean the way he's played over the course of the last season and a half, 11 of the last 18 games, this offense hasn't scored 20 points. In today's NFL, when you're paying your quarterback $20 million, that's a goddamn disgrace. It's a disgrace.
You know what? It's on the quarterback. It's on every single person on that damn offense. Everybody's got to play better than what I saw.
It's on the guy making $20 million. What does not anybody understand about that?
Mm-hmm. And here's the other thing.
This is a salary cap league. You can't pay everybody. You can't pay your defensive linemen, and you can't pay your cornerbacks, and you can't pay your wide receivers, and you can't pay your line. You have to. There's going to be roster imbalance when you have a salary cap, unless you decide as a franchise, I'm not paying anyone $20 million. Because if you don't pay anyone $20 million, you could have more of a balanced roster.
Well, I just want to put out there, your $20 million argument doesn't mean anything.
That's not true.
Nowadays, because if you're a
how is it? How much money is he making against the cap? How much money is he making against the cap?
Why are you yelling?
Look at the rest of the team.
Because it's bullshit. How much money is he making against the cap?
That's not true.
Look at the rest of the team.
How much money is he making against the cap?
He's one player.
If you want to
how much money is he making against the fucking cap? Can I get 3 linemen for what I'm paying him? Can I get 3 linemen for what I'm paying him?
That's not true.
And then who are you going to have? Gino?
Can I get 3 linemen for what I'm paying? Is my team better with 3 linemen and Davis Webb? Is my team better with 3 linemen and Davis Webb?
I just want to put out there, if you want a starting quarterback, the going rate is starting at $20 million. Period. Look at
the deficiencies those rosters have of the teams that are playing them. Why do you think Brady takes a goddamn pay cut every year?
Well, you know what? Not everybody has a supermodel wife that's making $200 million a year.
Oh, bullshit. He wants to win.
Bullshit.
He wants to win. That's bullshit as far as the Tom Brady stuff. Name another.
Yeah, okay, you're right. Yeah. Tom Brady's going to his management, going, pay me $6 million left because I'm banging a hot chick. No, he's saying pay $6 million left so you can get some talent in here so that I can win another goddamn Super Bowl.
Wait, hold on. Go ahead.
If you think he's not getting all this
the money shouldn't mean shit to Eli either.
Especially when
Wait a second.
How
many linemen can I get for what I'm paying him?
Hold on. We want to talk about.
Name another quarterback that's not getting good money that is not a rookie or in his rookie contract.
What? Why do I give a shit what any other team is doing?
Stafford has no playoff win, and Stafford's the highest paid quarterback player in the league, period.
That's Detroit's fucking problem.
What did Stafford do this Sunday, Tim? What did Stafford do this Sunday? They were down 14 points going into the fourth quarter, and Stafford was a fucking assassin.
Well, I agree.
He's got a point.
I'm with you like that. My
Against
point
the Cardinals.
It's a going rate.
Secondary.
It's a going rate, especially for a 2-time Super Bowl MVP. It's simple.
But maybe he's not that good.
I'm not worried about the money. He had a bad game. If he has a bad season,
Tim, do you get it though? Tim, do you get it though? You're paying for the guy's resume, and he's not giving you $20 million production now.
Well, it's week 1.
No, Tim, it's not just week 1. It's 11 of the last 18 goddamn games. When Beckham was in. It's the same thing every week. Do I hope it gets better? Yeah. It's week 1? Yeah. But let's not live in a fucking fantasy world.
Mm-hmm.
11 of the last 18 games in today's NFL, this team has not scored 20 points. And they have one of the best receivers talent-wise that we've ever seen.
Mm-hmm. Agree.
And
the line has question marks, yes. But, guys, come on.
Here's the thing. Tim, this is what it comes down to. All right? If I'm paying my quarterback that money, if I'm paying my quarterback that percentage of my cap for one player, I expect 2 things from you that I did not see from Eli Manning. And here they are. 1, you have to be able to move the ball in chunks down the field. Even on the drive we scored, it was 16 plays, 68 yards. That's 4.25 yards of play. Are you kidding me?
Yep.
Get the ball down the
agree.
field. Throw the ball
I'm
down the field. That's one. And two, while we're here, you know who I watched on Monday night?
Philip?
You know who I watched on Monday night?
Sam Bradford?
I know Jimmy knows. Sam Bradford. And James, I want to apologize to you personally for not picking him up in fantasy and going with Tyrod Taylor.
I told you.
I won in that league, but I bow to your fantasy football prowess.
I did tell you to pick up Sam Bradford.
But what am I say about Sam Bradford?
Well, I just want to put thank you, Marco, because fantasy football prowess scored.
This is the only league you should be playing. Let's get that.
Fantasy football prowess in my main league scored 170 points this week in my money league because I was hooked on a feeling.
This is the only.
Jimmy scores 1 million points in an unverifiable league.
Thank you, Marco.
Who had them?
You know what?
Jimmy scores 1 million points in an unverifiable league.
And who did the work?
I'll send you the screenshot, baby.
Right now, King in the North is Justin. So congratulations, Justin, for being King in the North this week.
But back to my
who did the work?
Wow.
Back to my original
Justin,
point.
I just want to put it out there, James is trying to take credit for your team.
I'm not who took credit. I didn't say a word. That wasn't me.
James.
Shame. Shame.
I didn't take credit for nothing. I told him to take Sam Bradford.
Which I didn't do. But what I want to say about Sam Bradford is, you know what I saw from Sam Bradford that Eli Manning will not do?
Push the ball downfield.
Steps up in the pocket and makes a throw with pressure in his face while he's taking a shot. He got lit up 2 or 3 times, and he stepped up in the pocket, he grabbed his sack, and he completed the pass down the field.
I will say he did do that.
And I'm paying Eli Manning $20 million. Step up and complete the throw. But Eli went to Peyton's school. Peyton's afraid to get hit because his neck is injured. And I got Eli rolling back and avoiding a hit completely to stay on the field. No, you play to win the game. Step up, take a shot, and complete the pass down the field. End of story. If you don't want to do that, Davis Webb can play.
I mean, it's sickening. It's sickening. I don't want to make. I'm sick of making excuses for the guy. I mean, does the offensive line need to play better? God damn, yes they do. We all know that. But when you look at the PFF grades, it's glowing because we're not saying the offensive line doesn't need to get better, but we're saying Eli can meet them halfway. And if Eli makes a couple of those throws and he makes a better read and he completes the ball downfield a little bit, now maybe he starts making up for some of the deficiencies in the offensive line. And that's what a guy that you're paying $20 million.
I got a question.
He should match
let me get this
those deficiencies. He shouldn't make them.
Do you think this has anything to do with some poor play calling? Or some poor planning, at least a little bit?
Let me get this.
Go ahead, Marco.
Do you think this has anything to do with some poor play calling or some poor planning?
Absolutely.
At least a little bit.
I think.
When do we want to put that up?
Like I really do. Like I think it's all tied together, right? So like one of my and I spoke to my.
I could play it now.
Well. Like, we spoke about. You could put that up. You could put that up whenever. I mean that's good stuff because he went over.
I could play it now.
If you want to play it now, that would be phenomenal. He goes over. I specifically asked him about the Giants being stubborn going into this year and saying, Hart and Flowers are going to be our guys, and being content with the guys they have, and it's even a chance that we would see them try to do something different and shake something up and insert a guy like Fluker because of the fact that he brings a physicality to the offense. Because of the fact that he gives them something that they're missing. We went over the facts that Fluker.
All right, so you want an intro?
He is going to blow some stunts. He's going to infuriate you at certain moments in the game, but he is going to light someone up.
All right.
And if you include that in Darkwa, right? Let's say you make a subtle change and you say we're going to put Fluker at right guard and Darkwa is going to be our starting back. We're not going to eliminate Perkins and put him on the bench. We're still going to use him, but Darkwa and Fluker give you that punch you in the mouth type of team, where now you're hitting the hole hard. You have a solid run blocker on that right side, and maybe a 3rd and 6 turns into a 3rd and 4, guys, or a 3rd and 3.
I totally agree with you, James. The only thing is, I think Bobby Hart.
Go ahead, intro it up.
He's playing right tackle this week.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to go over
Mute.
To see
go
what exactly they do. There's going to be a lot of options. But yeah, go ahead, play the interview.
All right, Jimmy, intro it up. Let me find it.
Go ahead.
Before we get to that, let me ask you guys one more question, okay?
Mute. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
All right, Jimmy, intro it up. Let me find it.
Well, yeah, this is coming on with us now. How this happened is pretty funny. My good cousin of mine, older cousin, really good guy, big Giants fan, actually is next door neighbors with the New York neighbors down 1 or 2 houses away, but they're close, with New York Giants beat writer for the Daily News, Pat Leonard. And he was able to link us up. Hopefully we're going to get him on a couple of times this season, maybe
now,
live.
James is chewing the microphone a little bit. We'll talk about that later.
Practice tonight.
But let's go. Ready? Here we go.
Starting it up. And we spent around 15 minutes on the phone together.
All right, here we go. Now, James is chewing the microphone a little bit. We'll talk about that later. But let's go. Ready? Here we go.
It's my phone. It's my phone.
I know.
Good evening,
small correction, Jordan Renan hasn't been on the out of all the people that have been on, hasn't been on.
Tonight we have from the New York Daily.
Small correction, Jordan Renan hasn't been on with us.
Yeah, he hasn't been on.
We heard that.
I thought Renan wasn't Renan on. I thought Renan. Oh no, that was Dugan. Renan was on the.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Ready? All right, here we go.
All right, my bad. I got 2 out of 3, guys. Meatloaf said 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
There you go.
That's pretty good. Ready? All right, here we go.
Good evening, Bleedbigblue Nation. We have a special guest with us tonight. In the past, we've had Myron Guyton, Gary Reasons, Jordan Renan's been on with us as well. Tonight, we have from the New York Daily News, we have Giants beat writer Pat Leonard. Pat's been kind enough to give us a call on his way home, just leaving practice. And Pat, thank you for joining us.
Of course.
Want to get to some things real quick. Just saw on NFL Network, actually, Ian Rappaport, some optimism coming out of the Giants, I guess, with OBJ. What are the odds? We saw this morning the dance-off. He didn't play just a couple of days ago, raised some question marks, and now tonight some optimism pointing in a good direction. What's the latest coming from practice? How are the Giants feeling about Monday night?
Yeah, so they're optimistic. I mean, I think they both want him to play. They know after scoring 3 points in Dallas that they may need him to play. But more than anything, Beckham had a little pep in his step in the locker room. He didn't talk to us, but looks like he's feeling good. And also, Eli Manning said something that was pretty telling to me. Eli basically said that in Dallas, even when Beckham was warming up, that he never thought he was actually going to play because he hadn't practiced in 3 weeks. And so I think the most telling sign we're going to have is when they get back on that practice field, later this week. If Odell's out there, that is what's going to tell you. Now, coming right out of that game, I mean, the fact that he was able to run a lot of his routes and look pretty strong in Dallas, I think it was a good indication that he's working himself that way. My opinion is he's going to be in the lineup on the field. I just think there's still a chance his workload could be slightly limited compared to the norm in case they want to use him as a decoy and he's still a little sore. I do think the injury was always worse than what the Giants and Beckham had originally led on. But it seems to me, at least just observing how Beckham was acting today, that he's in good spirits, and usually with him that means he's getting closer.
Now, do you think that he would need, are we looking at a couple of full days of practice? Is this a situation where you can, ease him into it, and as long as he practices by Friday, he's good? Or is this a situation where, because he's missed so much practice time, he needs a full week of practice in order to be ready to go?
I would say he needs at least 2 days of practice. So they have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then they're off Sunday. I would say at least 2 days because with all these injuries, it's not just whether a guy can get through a practice, but the most important thing is how he recovers
the next day, definitely.
Yeah, so it'll definitely be getting him to his normal or closer to his normal workload. So let's say that happens on Thursday. Friday would be the most important day there as far as how do you feel, can you do that workload again today, not re-injure yourself. So I would say at least 2 practices.
Okay, thanks for that. And I know, with OBJ, even when he comes back, I mean, this offense, 11 out of the last 18 games, 7 games in a row, they haven't broke 20 points. It would be foolish to think that one person is going to come in and be the cure-all. I don't think in a game of football, 11 people on the field, that it works like that. I think he's a piece. He's a big piece. We all know that. But, there's other problems in this offense. According to the offensive line, coming into the season, I know we were asked a lot on the site and on the podcast about the offensive line and the question marks going in, and we told everybody our response was, listen, the Giants had confidence in these guys. These are the guys that they wanted to bring in. They were confident in Hart. They were confident in Flowers. And the question now isn't whether they were going to do anything in the offseason. The question was, is it going to work? I know coming out, we've heard that there may be a stubbornness sort of in the front office, Reese, maybe McAdoo a little bit, where they're saying these are their guys and reluctant to make any change. Me personally, I look at it and I think this offense needs some physicality. I think the difference between 3rd and 6 and 3rd and 3 is huge. And when you look like a guy like Darkwa in the backfield as opposed to Perkins, a guy who hits the hole harder, what are the odds that the Giants actually make some changes, maybe insert a fluker who can help with the physicality in the run game and use Darkwa a little more to try to switch things up and maybe create a spark?
Yeah, no, I think you're hitting the nail on the head as far as what they have to be thinking about. And whether or not you start Darkwa or not, if you start Perkins, you start Darkwa, whatever it is, whoever's running best that day has to become your guy. Like, I don't think it matters who he is. So I would say that for linemen. I would say that for running backs. They want to believe in this offensive line, and they keep talking about how they're playing together for several years now, form some cohesion and chemistry, but the chemistry they have is not the kind you want. I mean, They're not successful at it, so why keep banging the drum on something? Why beat the dead horse on something that is not working? It was surprising to me that considering how badly Bobby Hart and, Flowers was good for him, even though he wasn't good in Dallas. But, with Bobby Hart, you got Chad Wheeler. I know he's an undrafted rookie, but he's standing there on the sideline with his helmet on. Hart twists his ankle fairly early in the game, making DeMarcus Lawrence look like a future Hall of Famer. I don't know why you're looking at a change. John Jerry, I would say this. McAdoo already showed in the preseason that he was getting sick of Jerry, even in the preseason. I mean, he threw Brett Jones in there for some extended period of work with the first team. There's been a lot of talk that it could be Jerry might actually be the first guy to go as far as to sit down. It could be Fluker, it could be Brett Jones. Right now, it looks like it would be Brett Jones instead. I mean, to your question about Fluker, unfortunately,
he was inactive, wasn't he? I mean, what is the deal with Fluker? I mean, he's not even getting. Is he not getting it? Is it the system, or is it just him as a player?
I would say this. I mean, my impression of watching him every day at practice in the preseason is that he just didn't play that well.
Okay.
I think the Giants felt that way too, but he is a hard worker. He is a mean guy. Like, I remember there was a play in the preseason when Colin Thompson, who's no longer with them, is this rookie tight end who's undrafted out of Temple, and there was this one play where he ended up, it looked like he buried the defensive end Evan Schwann on a block. And I was talking to Thompson about it. I was like, that probably looks good on tape. And he goes, I didn't even hit him. He goes, Fluke buried him. Fluke just put his shoulder in the guy and buried him down to the ground 5 feet away, and I ended up on top of him. But, we were laughing about it, but the point of the story is Fluker has the kind of strength and is a big enough man to move bodies, and that's what the Giants don't do enough up front. I would say this to your question about Fluker. whether or not they're going to start him or give him a chance, the fact that he's inactive, I really didn't understand why he would be inactive when you're going to an offensive line you don't trust.
It's amazing. It's amazing to me. And the way I look at it is, I mean, I watched Fluker in San Diego. I wasn't a huge fan of his. I mean, he's not perfect, but I think that he gives them something that line is missing, and that is just that. Is he going to miss on a stun every now and again? Yeah. Is he perfect in pass protection? God, no. But does he give you that attitude, that physical, we're going to smash you in the mouth type of attitude? And can that make some type of difference? It might be worth giving the kid a shot.
No, possibly for sure. But the other thing I would say is, and Giants fans don't want to hear this, but this is unfortunately true, is that, and you know this too. In the off season, the offensive line was a major issue, and it deserved major action.
Yes.
But Jerry Reese did not take major action. He signed a guy in Fluker who the Chargers gave up on, and they moved him to all different spots, right? He was a left.
Yeah, he was all over the place. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because they were like, he doesn't work here, doesn't work there. So he was like, went bargain shopping for Fluker, got an undrafted free agent out of USC, and traded up into the 6th round to draft a guy who now was so bad in the preseason in Bisnawadi that he's only on the practice squad, he didn't make the team. So I'm not trying to say they can't figure it out, but I am saying that no matter what changes you make with the guys currently on the roster, it's not like they have that savior waiting in the wings, I guess is my point.
And that would go back to them being maybe stubborn to the point where they were just content with the hand that they had and not aggressive enough and at least spending some money on and bringing somebody in to take a shot and compete. Enough with Fluker and the offensive line. I want to touch, again, grateful that you came on, and I want to let you go. I know that you're busy. But real quick, Eli Manning. An article today I saw from Jordan Renan. I saw a couple of other things where actually the line in Dallas, while they weren't perfect, PFF, they graded them out pretty well. There were a couple of comments from McAdoo in the offseason in reference to Eli having little quick feet and maybe not getting through certain progressions. He was quoted the other day, roughly, I'm quoting him roughly here, that Eli had opportunities on 3rd down. It was an ugly pocket. It was a trashy pocket, but, you have to make those plays in situations like that. How much of this is on Eli? Is it just there's another thing I saw where throwing to Beckham where his numbers are outrageous, and everyone else in his career, the numbers are men's amends, as Cousin Joey would say. How much is this on Eli? Is there any friction and frustration between McAdoo or Eli, or are fans getting a little bit too crazy and we should let this thing play out?
I think that it's too much to say it's all on Eli or none of it. I think it's in the middle, and what I mean by that is, I actually just wrote. That's a great question you asked, because I just wrote for tomorrow, because Eli today, he said he still has confidence in the offense. He said he still has confidence in the offensive line, but he did take some responsibility after the game. And looking at the 3rd downs, which is what Eli was pinpointing even today when we talked to him, he said that the biggest problem was that they didn't convert on 3rd downs, and he wasn't always the problem on 3rd down, but Manning sometimes was the reason they didn't convert. Like, he missed Brandon Marshall on that wide open look in that window of the zone. I think it was on the 3rd and 2.
Yep.
That was a good example of a play where, even though Manning got moved slightly off his spot, he still has to make the throw. The guy was wide open, and the ball was nowhere near it.
Nowhere near him. There was another one, Pat, where Shepard, I think, on a 3rd and 6, was coming across the middle. There was a little pressure, but he could have very easily, in my eyes, slid over or stepped up, waited a split second. He threw the ball high, and Shepard got nailed. They had to punt the ball. They ended up 2 yards short of the 1st down.
No. And the crazy thing about that play was, like, Sean Lee recognized the coverage and came off his man, so it was a good play. But just what are you – like, if you watch that play –
what are you doing?
Marshall isn't even done his route, and Eli really isn't under that much duress, and he throws a 2-yard pass underneath the 1st down marker. I still don't understand that decision.
No, and there was an opportunity. He had protection, and he could have very easily slid up in the pocket and waited a split second and threw the ball to Brandon Marshall. The other one that killed me, And you see a lot of this over the years, and that's what even led me to ask the question to you if there's any friction there, because from what McAdoo was saying, the slant on the drive where they actually got into the red zone and kicked the field goal, I believe, but he missed. He threw the ball on the slant to Shepard. If he puts that ball on the money or leads him a little bit, he may walk into the end zone. And it's little things like that in McAdoo's offense, because of the timing, because of the accuracy, that make a huge difference, right or wrong.
No, you're right. The one thing I think, and I'm not making excuses for Eli. I'm not totally throwing some blame at his feet, but one thing I think that he will never say, but that seems obvious to me at least. Like today, somebody asked him, does all the pressure from the blitzes or the defensive line of the Cowboys, does that make you, throw more quickly, or does that, make you second guess things or try to get the ball out fast and maybe be off target? And he says no. But I firmly believe that Eli, especially when a game, like at the start of a game, I think he's playing it like new game, whatever. But when there is a lot of pressure at his feet, especially with no blitz coming, just a 4-man rush, there was even blitzes from or rush or pressure from a 3-man rush on one play. I think that Manning's timing and decision making and everything is changing based on that pressure. I really do believe that he is thinking like remember last season, that game in Minnesota, after he had turned the ball over 3 times or 4 times against Washington, he came out in that game in Minnesota, and the second that he felt pressure, he was gunning the ball into the ground.
Yeah.
And he didn't do that in Dallas, but I think, at least my opinion, even though Eli doesn't throw guys under the bus like that, is that he is rushing passes or second-guessing decisions because he's always afraid after seeing it early on that someone's always going to be in his face.
Yeah, he looks a little shell-shocked. He looks a little, at times he does, and some of the throws he makes, you're baffled because you just don't expect it from him. So, and one more thing before I let you go. Again, thank you for your time. I know you speak to my cousin Joey, who put us in contact. If you can just maybe feed Joey positive information, because the negative texts I get from Joey, he gave up on the season in the first quarter. So, I'm texting him like, Joe, it's the first quarter. It's game 1 of the first quarter. Oh, we're done. This is it. This is Reese. Fire him. So if you can just, even if you don't tell him everything, Pat, just tell him maybe just the good stuff. Make stuff up, just so I don't have to deal with it on Sunday, if that's okay.
You got it. No question. No, I do know some of Joe's negativity comes from, I remember he and I were getting a coffee one morning, and we're talking, and we had this conversation. This might have even been before a preseason game was played, and we're talking about how, look, this offensive line, they really didn't address it. Maybe these guys will get better, but if they don't, it's going to be a long year of saying we told you so from everyone up on down to Jerry Reese and company. And you don't, like you said, it's only one game, but a large part of the offensive problems came from what everybody saw last year and said Reese has to address it, and he didn't. So, Joe, sometimes he's negative, but sometimes I think he's just realistic.
He's spot on. He really is. He's wisened up in his old age. Hey, Pat, I appreciate your time. Hopefully we can speak again in the future, and it was a pleasure speaking to you tonight, my friend.
Of course. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Not a bad job. Not a bad job.
Yeah, drive safe. Be good.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
Hold on. Ready?
That was Jimmy in the field.
Not a bad job.
Yeah,
Jimmy in the field.
Good interview, Jimmy. Jimmy,
yeah, it was, man. Good job.
Hold on, ready?
Listen, I want to go straight to something that he said.
Aw, thanks, guys.
I want to go straight to
Jimmy
something
in the
that he
street.
said while it's fresh on my mind. I mean, what Mr. Leonard said was that McAdoo was already frustrated with John Jerry, which is factually accurate. But the fact that he's frustrated with John Jerry, what kind of contract did we give John Jerry?
It's still crap money, but it's a 3-year extension.
We gave him a 3-year extension. We gave him a 3-year extension. And we didn't even get into one game, and McAdoo's already got him in the doghouse. And he should. So that comment alone, that lets you know that
a football contract basically means
are not on the same page. They are not copacetic. They are not chill. What the hell is going on?
Don't worry, Justin.
A football contract basically means nothing.
Exactly. Thank you, Marco.
Yeah, they just use that to spread out the cap. They can get rid of him in a heartbeat if they wanted to.
Don't worry, they didn't pay him anything anyway. They didn't pay. It's not like he got a big contract at all.
That's easy. That's easy to say. We'll just cut him. We'll just cut him. We'll just cut him. You know, it's not a big deal, and it's not a huge deal. But if you cut him before the contract's over, there's still dead money in there.
Right.
And you're
Depends
telling
on
me
the
that
contract.
The team.
It depends on the contract. If there's only $3 million guaranteed and the $3 million is front loaded, they can cut them and it's not going to cost them anything.
Sorry, wrong button.
Yeah. It's about the guaranteed money. So I mean, it depends on the contract. So I don't think that they're that tied into Jerry. Even if it was dead, how much dead money is Jerry going to cost you? Even if it is $800,000.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
so.
And honestly,
and I don't know that. And I don't know that I would. And I don't know that I would cut him, guys. I think he's serviceable as a backup.
Yeah, he's depth. That's
what
he was signed for.
We've been saying he's a man beast for a while.
He wasn't supposed to start.
He just hasn't put it all together.
Hey,
how about the story he told about Fluker?
Yeah. We've been saying he's a man
James.
beast for a while.
Hold on, ready?
Hold on. Put it all together.
That was pretty funny. The story about Fluker.
Reviews are coming in, James.
Funny how that guy just bounced.
Jimmy in the Streets from Lolly Mac.
James,
says great interview.
Ready? Hold on.
NYPD gives you 4 clapping hands emojis.
Jimmy in the Streets from Lolly Mac. Says great interview.
Oh my God! Who put him back on mute?
Gives you 4 clapping hands emojis.
Hey, thank you, buddy.
Let's see.
Oh, what about me? I gave him
I took him back off.
Oh my God. Who put him back on?
Yeah, people pretty positive about the interview. I thought it was a good job. Maybe. What do you guys think about? Because we've had a bunch of beat writers who say they want to come on. Do you think the pre-interview worked out well?
Yeah, people pretty positive about the interview. I thought it was a good job. Maybe.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that.
What do you guys think about? Because we've had a bunch of beat writers.
Yeah, no, I'm getting that from other guys too.
The pre-interview.
I like the fact that.
Yeah, I did.
The only reason
it
is
went really well because I think him coming on at 10 o'clock would have been a pain in the ass. I got the impression.
Yeah, no, I'm getting that from other guys too.
The only reason is the Amani Toomer, right?
Yeah, well, what I did was, Marco, there's actually an app that I downloaded to my phone that recorded, so when he called me, it just, anytime I pick up my phone or I make a call, it records the conversation. So I was able to just then forward you and share the conversation and email it to you. So, it's really easy to download the app. It took 3 seconds to download the app, and then he called me up, and we ended up, we were on the phone. He called, and what was really cool was he told me he was going to call me anywhere between 6:15 and 6:30. At 7 o'clock, I didn't hear from him, so I sent him a message on Twitter, and he followed me on Twitter, which is awesome. So I messaged him on Twitter, and I said, hey, I said, I know you're busy. I said, if tonight doesn't work, I said, maybe we can link up a time tomorrow. I said, let me know. No worries. Don't worry about it. And he sent me a message back saying, the interviews went long, practice went long. I'm just about to leave now. I'll call you in 10 minutes. I shot him my number. He called me in 5 minutes, and you heard the whole conversation, Marco, when I sent it to you. I mean, we literally went right into the interview, and he was great. So, and then and also I think I may be able to do that with him once a week, once every other week. I don't think he would be opposed to having that conversation and touching base on a week-to-week basis because of the fact that it was so convenient for him. I literally spoke to him on his way home. So it went really well. And if anybody else, if we're in contact,
the only issue,
want to do it.
I think I'm going to lean towards that way. Originally, I was leaning to have them come on live, is because they have to answer
at their disposal to where they can give you a call.
But I think this worked out well.
Really, really well.
Better than I thought it
worked
would.
out well.
Besides chewing the microphone, but
I think I'm going to lean towards that way. Originally, I was leaning to have them come on live, is because they have to answer.
Yeah, I know.
But I think this worked out well. Better than I thought it would.
Yeah.
Besides chewing the microphone.
Yeah, I mean that's that's the only thing is I called from my phone. My phone was like dead. My phone was dead, and I wasn't even home when he was able to call, because he said he was going to call around 6:15, 6:30, and I was like, all right. I was like, and he didn't call. I said, you know what? This fucking guy works for the Daily News. I said, who knows what happened? You know what I said? So I went about my business, and then I just shot him a message when I was out, and then
I think any interview is better than any interview.
So
any interview is better than no interview.
It wasn't ideal.
It went really well, honestly.
It was great. We got him directly from practice. So all the information was fresh in his head, and he was spot on.
Right.
Dan Dugan wants to come back on. James Crash wants to come back on. Art Stapleton said he'll come back on.
Oh, thank you.
There's one thing.
Guys,
we
were so humbled by this. Thank you.
Dan Dugan wants to come back on. James Crash wants to come back on. Art Stapleton said he'll come back on.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do tomorrow.
There's a bunch of people that
if
we pre-record them, then we could just, play them.
Then just play them. Just upload them.
Maybe I'll reach out to one of those guys and see if they'll
interviews on YouTube by themselves.
Yeah. Anyone want a shot at it?
There's a lot of different things that we can...
Tim, you think you got it in you? Justin, you have it in you?
Sounds good.
All right.
Maybe I'll reach out to one of those guys and see if they'll pre-record anything. Anyone want a shot at them? Anyone want a shot at an interview? Tim, you think you got it in you? Justin, you have it in you?
I'll do an interview.
All right.
Yeah.
Is there anyone else that possibly will want to do an interview? No one? Okay, let's move on to the next topic.
Don't be fooled by the rocks that I got. I'm just Jimmy from the block.
Sure.
Is there anyone else that possibly will want to do an interview? No one? Okay, let's move on to the next topic.
What the fuck? Hold on a second. I have an idea for an interview.
Sure.
You don't even know who the fuck Odessa Turner is, and you want to...
We should try to get...
I know everybody. I can learn. I can look them up.
If we get McAdoo, I want to ask him about his hair.
Yeah. If we get McAdoo, it would be... I like McAdoo's hair. I'll be honest with you.
Styled up coach in the NFL, man.
McAdoo should have like his own theme music. Like he should come out like bow, 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 bow.
I'll just slip it in.
He's got the porno. He's going to slip it in.
I'll just slip it in.
Yes, I do remember
slipping it in. That dressed up as him and went to a Giants game?
What?
What'd you say? I said, do you guys remember that little kid that dressed up as McAdoo and he went to a Giants game?
Yeah, he was at practice actually this year too.
Yeah. No, he was there this year. I saw that. Coach McAdoo went out there and shook his hand and everything. We should do that, man. Let's go to a Giants game, dress as Coach McAdoo or Odell Beckham Jr. Maybe we'll get a handshake.
You can
do that, Todd. And that's why you don't get an interview.
I won't be doing that.
That's why you get no interviews.
I was a joke. Fight me.
Oh God.
Lead to Best wants to know if you guys have ever done
that was directed towards you.
Yeah.
Shame.
Sure.
Shame.
I love that clip.
I love it when it's not being used on me.
That's always being
that was directed towards you.
That's the whole reason the clip even started. I get bullied over here at Bleedbigblue, so.
It's the only reason why we uploaded it.
Ooh, see, we're gonna have a few giveaways coming up. We have a pretty expensive grill coming in the pipeline. I won't give the name of the grill or anything.
Yeah, we have some giveaways, guys.
Yeah, we're gonna have a few giveaways coming up.
Hold on. Let me do. Can you delete that guy?
We have a pretty expensive grill coming in the pipeline. I won't give the name of the grill or anything, but it's
like a cooking grill.
Hold on. Let me do.
Yeah, Justin, you haven't seen it?
It's a tailgate grill, like real nice.
Justin,
it's a $300 or $400 grill. It's legitimate. It's awesome, and they're going to ship it to one of our fans. No one on the podcast could win it.
Can't win it. That's the problem. I was like, this is bullshit. I was like, I want a grill.
Yeah, it's a $300 or $400 grill. It's legitimate. It's awesome, and they're going to ship it to one of our fans.
And supposedly it's going to be blue, just like the Bleedbigblue, all that.
That's pretty tight, like a tiger. How about that?
What about
this?
Can I get one of the skin it?
Yeah. A skin it cover for your phone is also going to be a giveaway.
Sorry, my phone dropped.
I just want to slip it in. I want to slip my phone into a skin it.
It's all good. We don't have a for Meet the Mets. We don't have a. All right, see you later.
Sorry, my phone dropped.
Todd was getting on my nerves.
All right, guys. We don't have it, so I'm going to have to leave.
Yes.
See you later.
Yeah, school tomorrow.
Whoa. You leaving early?
Meet the Mets. We don't have a set lot. We don't have a set lot that we tailgate in. Just send me a message on Twitter and I'll let you know where I'm at.
Todd's got responsibility.
Yeah. Yeah, school tomorrow.
That's at Bleedbigblue.
Night, Todd.
Meet the Mets. We don't have a set lot. We don't have a set lot that we tailgate in. Just
send me a
message on Twitter and I'll let you know where I'm at.
Bing,
It'll be me. It'll be. I was just gonna say.
All you got to do is find Leo, and that's where Marco is.
What happened?
Guys, you aren't upset that I lost a big contest.
Find DiCaprio.
Yeah. DiCaprio.
So there will be no more VIP parties with me.
Yeah.
The Leo, Marco, and Demi show.
Yes.
Guys, you aren't upset that I lost.
Yes.
I lost a big contact, so.
I'll tell you off the air.
Yeah.
You lost a big contact.
What?
Yes.
Timmy, Jim knows who it is.
That's inside information. We can't give that to the public.
I'll tell you off the air.
Yeah, it's not. We can't discuss these things.
Super. This is
bad. Jim knows who it is.
I do?
Jim knows who it is.
Yes, of course.
Apparently James doesn't, but Jim does.
Now, hold on a second.
I'll check with Jim.
Different from Jimmy?
I'll check. No. Jim and Jimmy are the same guy. Let's not go crazy. I don't have 3 different personalities. It's just the 2. I don't got room for 3 in here. But right now Jim's checking out some.
So we're gonna have the grill. We'll give that away. We'll have some other phone accessories.
I'll check with him later.
Should be fun.
So we're gonna have the grill. We'll give that away. We'll have some other, phone accessories and stuff like that to give away too. Should be fun.
All right.
Boom shakalaka. That grill
is. All right, hold on. We have a phone call.
The fans
I have high suspicion on this one. Ready?
Keep an eye out because that thing, when you see it, you're gonna want it because it's badass.
Right. What's up, caller? You're there.
All right, hold on. We have a phone call.
Yeah.
And I have high suspicion on this one. Ready?
You're gonna prank. This is somebody.
What's up, Tony?
Douche. Hey, what's up?
How you doing? What do you say?
What's up, caller?
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing? Yeah, hi. This is Tony from Hoboken.
Hey, Tony from Hoboken. How you doing?
Hey, what's up? Hey, I just really wanted to talk about Brett Jones. I mean, this guy, I would really want you guys to go back and look at the tape of the Jets game, how he held his own against Wilkerson. The guy is a technician. I know he's small, but I look at him just like a stout, like a cinder block. Like you just can't get around him. Wilkerson was trying. He was swiping his hand trying to get Eli, but Brett Jones didn't let him get by. And then there was a time also in the game where they tried to do a stunt on him, and Brett Jones caught it easily. Then there was another time when they were about to score. They were in the 2nd-yard line when they went for the run. He was playing right guard, and then they did a move where he went from the right side, just made a nice move to the left side and blocked somebody, and then this guy went in for the touchdown. He's a technician, and technician wins. I really hope they just give him a shot.
Yeah, I think at this point, I don't know that anybody here would disagree with you, man. I think
the continuity. The offensive line that game in the beginning, it just started to flow. And
I think the only question that the question you need to ask yourself is it worse than Fluke? Is it worse than Jerry? And I don't think that you can say that Brett Jones would be worse. Let me see Brett Jones. Let me see him be worse than Jerry. Because Jerry right now is a shell of a man. So like, I agree with you. Like, if you gave me a choice right now who I want starting on the first offensive play on Monday night, I would select Brett Jones over Jerry. So I don't think that I would give the kid a shot. Hopefully they'll let him play. And you heard from, if you were listening to the interview, it looks like it won't be Fluker at right guard. If it's going to be anybody to replace Jerry, it looks like it would be your boy Brett Jones.
Yeah, I mean, and he played well last season until he got hurt.
I think it serves two purposes. One, it gets them the hell out of the lineup, and two, maybe it sends a message to some of the other guys that they're not untouchable.
Yeah, and I agree with that, James. Because you know what, the thing with when we used to talk to Myron Guyton all the time, he always said Parcells would always try to send a message, as far as like cutting a guy or anything like that. I absolutely agree with that second point you said. Bench Jerry now. Make the point that you're not going to put up with it. And I totally agree with you, Tony. If you've seen the videos, I said Brett Jones should have been starting from the beginning.
Yeah, and just real quick, and when it comes to Jerry Jones, the better move for Jerry Jones to do right now, because they gave John Jerry that extension, would be to just face up and just say, you know what, I messed up with this pick, with this signing. You know what I'm saying? Instead of trying to start him and hold him up, because we can't keep losing. I mean, it's almost like every game's a must-win. I mean,
wait, I'm lost. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
No, he was talking about
Jerry Rice. Reese.
Jerry Reese. Okay.
Yeah, Jerry Reese.
All right. You threw me for a loop.
Yeah,
I thought we were talking about Dallas, and then no, you're fine. You're okay. Don't worry about it. Go ahead.
No, Jerry Reese. Yeah, that. You know, because I mean, I really don't know why they gave him an extension like that. I mean,
we said this. Here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. You know, we've spoken about Reese and this offensive line for the better part of a year and a half. Okay, and here's what we're looking at, guys. All these Giant fans that wanted that they want the noose around Reese's neck, and they want to fire him, and they want to get rid of him, and it's time to get rid of him, and he's the one responsible. You should be happy right now. All of those Reese fans, all of those people that want Reese gone, you're getting exactly what you wanted. Because what Jerry Reese told everybody last year was that I'm me, I am Jerry Reese, I am right, and everyone else is wrong.
Yeah.
And Flowers is my guy, and Hart is my guy, and Jerry is my guy, and I am going to laugh all the way to the bank when these kids gel, because these are my guys, and that's who I'm going with. And I said it. I said, whether I agree with it or not, I admire the balls, but you better be right.
Yeah.
And if he's not right, he's going to get fired. I mean, that's it. It's on him. If it's not right, and the offense struggles all season long, Jerry Reese, there's a very good chance that Jerry Reese gets fired at the end of this season because of his neglect to touch the offensive line, and everybody gets what they wanted. So, you know, let's see how it plays out.
I read an article this week.
Yeah, go.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, get. I'm sorry. You were saying?
I was just going to say, I read an article this week by Pat Trainer, Inside Football, and it was saying that, you know, with the amount of resources that Jerry Reese has, you know, committed to trying to rebuild this offensive line since, you know, we held too long on the previous offensive line, consisting of Sean O'Hara, you know, Weston Richburg, Sean O'Hara, David Deal, and Chris Snee.
Okay.
You know, we're on our third reiteration of this offensive line, and if this doesn't work, I mean, this will tell you exactly, you know, where Jerry Reese is going to go. You know, and it ain't up to the owner's box. It's back down to the unemployment line.
Hey guys, I mean, I just wanted to say this is a great show. You know, I've been listening to you guys for a bit now, and my first time calling, but you know, keep it up, and I'll definitely call back again. Thanks a lot.
Please do, man. We appreciate that. Thank you, man.
Yeah, man. All right, bro.
Be good. Take care. Yeah, good. Look at this. Hey, now.
Yeah.
And we thought we were getting pranked.
You know what? This is just an idea, and you guys made me think of it, is when somebody calls, I think we should have the sound effect, how you doing?
How you doing? How you doing? I like that. A little Tribbiani?
Yeah. How you doing?
Tribbiani. How you doing?
How you doing?
Anybody else want to call in? Hey, first of all, if you want to praise us, we love it.
Yeah, if you want to tell us how awesome we are.
Yeah. You can call all day with that.
That's entertainment right there.
Damn straight.
The other topic I want to hit on tonight.
Go ahead.
You know, this offensive scheme by McAdoo. I mean, at what point do we say you're trying to fit square pegs in round holes? Because
I totally agree with you.
The production's not there.
Totally agree. Go ahead, Justin. I'm sorry.
Yeah, something needs. You're right. I mean, something needs. 11 out of 18 games, 7 games in a row, you haven't scored 20 points.
No. Let's. We don't even have to go that far back. If you're an offensive guru, you can't score less than the Yankees. You can't score less than the Mets.
You're right. You're 100% right. It's been a problem. It's been a problem, and that is why. Like I don't like when I sit here and I look at this team and I'm like, my cure-all is Fluker and Darkwa. Like that's not ideal, guys. Like you're grasping for straws, and you're looking at the roster and you're going, who can provide a spark? Who can provide?
We got another call. Let's see. Ready? How you doing?
Here we go.
How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing?
I want to know. I think we should get the tight end more involved in the offense to spread the field. He's a kind of tall wide tight end, and he's a good deep threat. What do you guys think?
I totally agree, man. And that's exactly where I was going to go with the offensive scheme when Justin brought it up. Was all of a sudden McAdoo got creative in the second half, and look, all of a sudden we started moving the ball. My biggest problem is, like, I said in the video was, I saw guys like Andy Reid who had an off season to get ready for Big Bill Belichick.
Guys, can I throw something in here?
And Kansas City doesn't have, they have talent on that side, but they don't have tons of weapons. I think we have just as many weapons as Kansas City does.
Dude, is it so much? Is it McAdoo calling the plays, or is it Eli actually completing passes in the second half?
I think it's both.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question, but I mean, the plays that McAdoo's calling, are they that? I mean, if you look at the clips and you look at the film and I mean, you look at the articles that were written and the screenshots of Marshall, and you look at the situations and the opportunities that they had, there were missed opportunities all night long.
So here's my question for you, James. Down that path, all right? So let's say, I know it's week 1, and I know this is overreaction theater, but we're having the conversation.
I like overreaction. That's what we're here. We're talking about. We're debating. We argue. It's great. It's fun.
It's what we're here to do, right?
Exactly.
But let's extrapolate this out, and let's say that the Giants' offense continues on the same path that they've been on through the last 7 games. Okay? And let's say
November.
Let's say 10 out of the first 12 games, we don't score more than 24 points.
Okay.
All right? I'm going to give them a bump up. All right? So let's say through 11 games we're 6-5.
Go.
So at what point do we sit there and we say, if this year plays out like last year from an offensive production standpoint, next year, do we go in with both Eli and McAdoo? I would think if the offense repeats their performance, one of those two guys has to go. And so the question is, which one do you want to roll into 2018 with? Do you want to give Ben McAdoo a year?
That's a loaded question, but it's an easy answer for me. I'll preface and I'll say this. The day Eli Manning was drafted, my daughter was sleeping. Okay? The day of the draft, my infant daughter, just born months ago, was passed out sleeping as I watched her in my arms. As that draft played out, when Eli Manning was drafted, not only did I make my daughter scream from my roar of emotion, I woke up the whole neighborhood. I went crazy. I was excited. I got his jersey. I was at camp. I got it signed. That first week of practice, he was there. I am an Eli Manning fan. He is the only quarterback that has won multiple. You could say Phil Simms, and Marco, you know this. Phil Simms is my favorite Giant of all time. Yeah. Eli Manning is the greatest quarterback this franchise has ever seen, maybe the greatest one that they ever will see. But you cannot. It is business. I go to The Godfather. It is business. It is not personal. So if you're telling me that the struggles have continued and I have to pay a now 37-year-old quarterback $20 million who has struggled, then I have to realistically ask myself two things. One, what do I really think of Davis Webb, and what is his progression now going into year 2? How good does he look? Am I comfortable with this kid in my offense to think that he could take the next step and start at an NFL level? 2, am I better off with Davis Webb if I feel that he can compete at an NFL level, even if it may be a step beneath Eli, because with the money I can use getting rid of Eli to go ahead and shore up the offensive line and get better at other spots as well and keep certain guys so I can keep this defense together now going into year 3. I think that from if you're running a franchise and you're not blinded by your past and the retiring numbers, and you don't get sentimental about guys finishing in one jersey, and you're doing what's best for the franchise, I'm a guy that's about the team name and the team color and the jersey more than one individual player. And I appreciate what you have done for me, but we have to do what's in best interest for the franchise moving forward. And I would cut ties at that point.
James, I hate to say this. I hate it. I agree with you 100%. No, I agree.
Do you really?
I agree with you 100% too. And here's why.
I'll give
you
my
reasons.
Marco. We'll go right to you. Ben McAdoo is only in his second year. He's been hamstringed with a poor offensive line and a declining Eli Manning. Still yet very good, but declining Eli Manning. I would go with the younger guy. And then you assess what you have with your rookie quarterback and see who the free agents are. Drew Brees, Kirk Cousins, Sam Bradford. Those are all the guys that are coming up. All the big names, at least.
No, you see,
if you have a guy in waiting that you think is the guy, and it was either Eli or your head coach, I would go with the head coach.
Yeah. And I wouldn't. I wouldn't make the decision. I wouldn't make the decision. Like if I'm a front office guy, because let's say this thing goes to shit, and now you're a new general manager, and you like McAdoo, and you're the new general manager. I mean, you really have to look at it and say, okay, well, I think that you could take all the free agent quarterbacks and throw them completely off the board, because I think if you're coming in and you're saying to yourself, I just got done paying Eli Manning $20 million, and we've decided to go a different way. I'm not going to bring in another aging question mark of a quarterback. I'm invested. I have Davis Webb. Now it goes to the – I mean, you got to imagine that McAdoo would make – I mean, they took Webb in the third round. He wasn't a sixth-round pick. So you figure that McAdoo had a say in taking Davis Webb right there and thought that maybe he was a kid that he can groom to play in his system. So if McAdoo is on the same page with said GM, new GM, or even if it's Reese, who is still there, I mean, the question becomes: are we better off letting this kid play and going through the growing pains and not and starting his progress right now and surrounding him much like Ben Roethlisberger was earlier in his career with a phenomenal defense and a good running game to go along with Beckham? You extend Beckham now. You don't got to pay him $20 million, so you're paying him less than Eli. So now you have the money to do that, and plus you have the extra money to get yourself a lineman. Plus you have the draft picks where you can draft a lineman. So you could turn over, and you still have, this defense is under contract. So you put yourself in a position where you reset your clock, but you're not resetting your clock. You know what I'm saying? It's like you say to yourself, I reset quarterback-wise, but team-wise, our team is ready to win. This is a team this is a roster that could win, maybe even more than the roster that we're looking at now if you eliminate Eli Manning. And I know that's really weird to say, but you have to ask yourself that question. If you took Eli away and you replaced him with 3 all-pro linemen, okay, and Davis Webb, is that a bad? It's not the best thing. It's not the only option, but is it not a way? It's a way.
Okay, I got to be the voice of reason, guys.
We're speaking hypothetically, Tim. We're having fun. It's week 1.
No, I totally agree with you as far as starting over with the day. If we're gonna start over and Eli's gone, Davis Webb, let's go. What's worse that's gonna happen? We went through the Dave Brown years. We understand.
Yes.
You know what? I'm fine with Davis Webb. If Eli's gone and we have to bring in another guy and have a competition between a young kid and a Davis Webb, I'm cool with that. But to get to reality, just like you guys said, this is McAdoo's second year. First year, I gave him a pass on offense because honestly, the offensive line wasn't great, but he didn't have the weapons. Victor Cruz couldn't separate for anything. Shepard was a rookie. And really, that's what you had on offense.
By the way,
your man Rashad Johnson was in the back. Jennings was in the backfield. Yeah, go ahead. What was you saying?
I was going to say, Ruben Randle got cut by the Bears this week.
Pick him up.
Exactly. Ruben Randle hasn't been in the league since we cut him.
We got to add that one, too.
So that tells me your stats as far as Odell getting picked off and throwing to other receivers. Ruben Randle hasn't had a job since he got cut.
Hakeem Nicks is in that mix. Manningham is in that mix. Cruz is in that mix. They're all in that mix, buddy.
Yeah, they're all in the mix, but they get mixed in with whatever. I'm not going to get back in that argument. Because
you'll lose.
Yeah, you'll get fired up. But my thing is, this is the year we judge Ben McAdoo. This is the second year he's got weapons. That excuse is not there anymore. He brought the people he wanted in. He's got the weapons out there. Let's see the creativity. If you're an offensive genius, I want to start seeing it.
Dude, he is subtly taking shots at Eli Manning. He is sending shots across. Go put in Google.
No, I agree with you.
Right now, while you're sitting on the phone with me, go put in Google and read the comments he made on the call. I guess he was on a call with reporters earlier this week. Put in Google, McAdoo takes shot at Eli, subtle shot at Eli Manning. It comes right up on 4 different things. And the quote.
No, I agree, and I understand that. You know what, McAdoo might be getting here too with Eli.
When you talk about play calling and stuff like that, like when you start to, like, in a snapshot, if you just say play calling, okay.
Well, it's not a play
I
calling.
get it. But if the guys are playing like shit, no plays are going to work.
What we don't know is what percentage of the play calling does Eli have control over?
Or how frequently
we don't know
is he
what the
changing
code
it
words
at the
at the
line?
line of scrimmage mean.
Exactly.
Well, that's one thing I trust in Eli. Like I trust Eli to make that right call. Like I trust Eli to read the defense and change the play more than I do for him to make the goddamn throw at this point. Like I don't think it's a mental aspect with Eli. I mean, he puts them in position to make the right plays. There are guys open. Execute.
Yeah.
And if you execute, fair. Maybe the play calling looks a little better. Right? I mean, if you have guys running all over the field that are wide open and the quarterback can't get them to throw, can't get them the ball, how are you going to blame the goddamn play caller?
I agree.
Here's the other thing, too, in relation to this whole conversation about Eli and any other player on this team that you want to talk about. You know, strategy from a personnel standpoint comes down to one thing that Bill Belichick has down to a science. And that is, it's better to let go of a player a year early than a year late. You know?
And there's no sentimental value. He's not sentimental.
That's all true. But they're letting go, like, linebackers, running backs. They haven't let go of Tom Brady. You know what I mean? They haven't had to come across that decision yet.
Eli hasn't had. I mean, and I know all the Giant fans their heads are going to explode. And, oh my, he beat Tom Brady twice. Eli is not Tom Brady.
He is not as handsome.
If Eli was Tom Brady, I would say this is ridiculous. Let him play until his arm falls off, and we're going to have to go 2 seasons of not making the playoffs before we can even have that conversation. Let him play until he's 43, 44 years old. Eli is not Tom Brady.
That's absolutely true.
And I love Eli, but I mean, he beat him head-to-head twice, tip of the cap, great job. No one will ever take that away from him. I love that he did it. But, I mean...
And I think Reese has let guys go a year early rather than a year late. But this is a quarterback we're talking about.
It's the face of the franchise. I mean, it changes everything. But
so here's what I was thinking about Monday and Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
So, because as I was playing out this scenario in my head, you know, if they make the choice, you know, a year, 2 years from now, whenever that is, to move on from Eli, and it comes from the organization, Eli doesn't retire. Who in the organization makes that call? Is that a Jerry Reese call? Is that a John Mara call?
I think that's a team call. I think that's all of the. I think that's Reese. I think that's Reese going to Mara and making a case for it, and I think that's all of them signing off on it. I don't think that would be. I don't think that decision would be left up to just Jerry Reese.
Honestly, I think
especially after Mara has put him on notice over the course of the last couple of seasons. I do not see. I think that you would have to have. I mean, it would have to start with McAdoo going to Reese, going to ownership. I don't see ownership getting involved and saying, let's do something about it. And I think the conversation would have to start with Reese and McAdoo saying, one, can we move forward with Webb? Is he capable? Is he ready? And if so, then the picture we paint to Mr. Mara is we can use the money for – we feel Webb is ready to take the next step. He's young, and we feel that, the upside with him is tremendously better to where Eli is now, not to where Eli Manning was throughout his career, but to where Eli is in his career now at this time. The upside with Webb is better, and we feel with the money that we would save on Eli, we can upgrade on this line and other pieces to make us even better moving forward as a team to stay competitive and put another trophy in the case. I think you can't just go to them and say I want to get rid of fucking Eli Manning.
No, if that's the case, and from what we've heard how the Giants run the organization, and with Eli being a lifelong Giant, I honestly would think they would go to Eli and sit him down and be like, your play's not up to par. And honestly, I think Eli's mature enough to know he would admit that. Obviously behind closed doors, if that came down to that situation.
Dude, if I'm Jerry Reese and here's what I would do. And this is, I'm not. I think outside the box a little bit. I'd be on the phone with Arizona at the end of this season.
Eli to Arizona.
Well, if see, I'm always trying to think of what asset, instead of cutting someone, can you get anything in return? So if by some chance you look at Carson Palmer and he's where he is, Eli, I think, fits Bruce Arians' offense better than McAdoo's offense. I'm sorry. Eli is a guy that pushes the ball down. But right? Arians wants to push the ball down the field, vertical passing game, long passes, stretch the field. You could see Eli in that offense. So that's a team that's looking to win now, that, maybe vested to say, okay, let's take a shot that we can get Eli into the playoffs and maybe make a run. And maybe they give you a 4th or 5th round pick for him. And then at least you get an asset back. And again, we're hypothetically fucking speaking. This is all what ifs, but
yeah, we're all
you start thinking down the line, and you start saying, okay, well, if we're going to get here and we're going to do that, where would Eli fit throughout the NFL?
But
I think Arizona would be perfect.
Here's the thing, and this is real talk. All right, NWO. I'm keeping it real. If we score 3 points on Monday, this conversation is a whole hell of a lot closer than we think.
Well, let's say. Let's. We got a couple of minutes left here. Let's get to Monday, guys. This isn't a gimme. Like I've heard a lot of people say Detroit. We're going to get right with Detroit. We're going to get right with Detroit, guys. You got a couple of things going in our favor. We're at home. Beckham may be back. Even if he's not at 100%, you would think that just having Beckham back would lift the offense up. So you would think that they're going to play better. But this Detroit team competes. Stafford is a lot better at home than he is on the road. So that's another thing we have going for us. But if you let this team hang around, Stafford will stab you in the throat in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, but here's what I'm saying.
This isn't a gimme.
There's a big difference if you lose this game 28-27 or 35-32 versus 24-10.
Well, I would agree with that. I think you have a problem if you lose this game, though. Like, see, I don't even if I think even if you lose this game 41-40, you have yourself a problem, because just look at the schedule, guys.
Oh, I agree with you.
It's not as easy as everybody. It's not an easy schedule coming up.
Look at the positive from week 1, guys. Our defense was on the field a good 90% of the damn game. We gave up 19 points.
I love
19 points. And we're only going to – and that was week 1. We're going to get better.
Yes.
And you know what? And I'm going to tell you right now, Dallas is better than Detroit on offense. They're a more well-rounded team. And I'm going to tell you right now, this defense – I believe this defense is going to keep Detroit under 20.
I hope you're right. I mean, there's a good shot at that with it being on the road.
Steps it up.
Here's the thing, Tim. If you're going to keep them under 20, 7 games in a row, 11 of the last 18, you're talking about a nail biter. And if you're in a nail biter, Stafford can burn you.
I agree.
So, I think you have to. If you win this game 3-0, you have to 6-3, 9-6. You have to win this game.
Mhm. Especially with Philly
I think we have to start off early. We better be up at halftime.
It would be nice to see them come out and start quick. Because here's the other thing, guys.
When's the last time we saw that?
If they come out and they struggle early, they're going to get booed, man. They give up a sack and there's a holding penalty. Eli throws a pick. He throws behind somebody who's open. It's 3rd and 7. They throw for 4 yards. They are going to erupt in that stadium. People
and are going to get warm
sick
quickly.
Of it.
A touchdown needs to happen on that first drive. Get this confidence.
And here's something that I have. This is something that I have to ask next time that I speak to Pat. And I didn't ask him now because it's week 1, and because things can turn around in a hurry, especially if Beckham comes back. Hopefully, the offense starts to gel. But that starts happening with the booing of the offense and the cheering of the defense. And this defense continues to play at a high level, and they're on the field the whole time. And then all of a sudden, because they're playing so much, guys start getting nicked up, and guys start getting beat up, and guys start getting hurt a little bit. There starts to become a resentment between the offense and the defense. That's where you have the
and that's why I think
have the potential. I don't think you're there now. I don't think we're there now. I don't think it's close. I don't even think it's a conversation after 1 week. But if this continues,
I do.
Eventually, you may have a conversation on your hands.
Go back and watch the broadcast from Sunday night. After the sequence that I talked about in my article, where Eli and the offense got called for 12 men in the formation, not 12 men in the huddle. 12 men in the formation. That means they broke the huddle with 12 guys.
Mm-hmm.
They cut to the Giant sidelines, and there's Snacks Harrison rolling his eyes on camera because he's saying, what is this shit we're dealing with? You can't even get the right number of guys out of the huddle. And then on top of that, Eli doesn't know the rule that they start the clock. Eli's back in the shotgun at the close of the third quarter. Now, it's not a huge deal, but he's standing back there in the shotgun waiting to hike the ball. The clock expires, and he's looking around like he doesn't know what the hell happened. You're an NFL quarterback.
Yeah, it's a bad look.
The only thing that's worse than that is Donovan McNabb saying he didn't know the overtime rules. That's the only thing.
It's bad. It's a bad look. And that's
it's
why, and that's where I'm not trying to be a dick, but I mean, I'm not paying $20 million for that.
Mental errors.
I'm paying $20 million for you to be the difference to prevent that stuff from happening. To be able to step up in the pocket and make a throw. To be able to put the ball in a window. To be able to have a 3rd and 6 and get me 7 yards. to wait the extra second to take the hit to deliver the ball so I can get the ball down the field so I can get the first down so I can keep my defense off the field and get some momentum going. That's what you're paying $20 million for. And if you're not getting it, then the question is for the level of performance you're getting, are you getting your money's worth? And I don't care.
Right.
If you're sentimental about that, if you're running an NFL team and you're sentimental at all about what a guy has done for you in the past, and you're not looking at the value that you're getting for that player compared to what you're paying him in a salary cap era, you are doomed. Doomed.
Yeah.
2-minute warning.
Let's do predictions for Monday night. What do you think?
There we go.
Predictions for Monday.
Okay, I'll go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Win. 28.
I pray to God it's a win.
18.
4 touchdowns.
Why not?
2018.
I love it.
Okay.
Why not?
Here we go. Here's my prediction. You ready for this? Watch this. Ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna go with what Tim says. I'm gonna go with what Tim says, and that the Lions do not break 20 points. I think the defense plays well enough at home to give Stafford enough to turn him over a little bit, get a couple of sacks, make him uncomfortable enough. Detroit scores 17 points. The Giants put up 21. Don't get into the end zone, but get 7 field goals from Rojas. And the Giants win 21. Giants win 21-17.
Is that your fantasy
there you go.
Of the week?
How about that? Pick them up. 7 field goals.
I like it.
You're like 21-17 Giants on 7 field goals.
What do you got?
Special teams player of the week. Book it.
I'm going to say 24-13 Giants. And I'm going to say Ingram has a breakout game this game.
So you're saying that Rojas gets 1 more field goal in your game than my game. Okay, I got it.
You know what? I'm going to say, and I'm going to tell you right now, and this is more hoping than anything probably, but we're scoring 7 on that first drive.
Ooh, bold predictions.
I'll take the Giants. I'll take the Giants 27-17. Offensively, I'm going to say that Odell scores, Marshall scores, and Orleans Darkwa scores.
And I also want to put out there, one of the touchdowns in my prediction will be a defensive touchdown.
Yeah, I was thinking defensively on mine too. All right, guys.
Bold predictions.
All bold.
And I want to put out there that I did beat Marco this week in fantasy.
With the stupid Monday night game, yes.
Yeah,
I'm going to beat him, and I'm going to beat him this week.
Who was it that turned the Monday night game?
I'm hooked on a feeling.
Minnesota's defense?
Minnesota's defense.
Yeah.
All right.
I like the way Minnesota looks. I'll tell you that right now.
I just want to say to you all that I'm in prime position to take that belt after week 1.
Oh Christ!
I'm going to tell you right now. I'm right behind. I'm pretty close to you. I'm coming for the King of the North.
You're not smelling me with Antonio Brown, Michael Thomas, and Mr. Cam.
You guys.
You'll find out.
You guys are like Giant fans. You get so emotional after 1 week.
I'm going to tell you right now, though, because I was a stupid ass, because I listened to James talk to a fantasy guy about not playing Kareem Hunt against the Patriots.
I played Kareem Hunt.
Well, you know what? Play back the tape from last week, and I'll tell you right now.
I'm pretty sure didn't I send you the screenshot that Kareem Hunt scored 57 points for me in my league?
Yes.
Didn't I send you that?
Exactly.
Okay, I'm all right. So I played Kareem Hunt, and I'm pretty sure I didn't say don't play him. I said that it's a tough matchup. I can see why somebody would be afraid to play him, but I'm playing him.
Well, I didn't play him, so I
run your team, Tim.
I would have been king of the North, but I still got the W. I was playing a weaker opponent. I was playing a weaker opponent.
First of all, before Monday night, and I was doing pretty damn good. Still scored a bunch of points. It was just
it's 1 week, Marco. Don't worry about it.
Exactly. I don't care.
You'll be Marco. You're going to be 0-2, and then you'll have a chance to regroup.
I take the blame from benching Kareem Hunt, but it's my fault for listening to James, who only scored like 80 points this week.
Yeah, it is. It is your fault. I took a lot of shots in week one. Dude, week one, did you see the guys I played? I take shots in week one. I made some pickups. I'm good. Don't worry about me, buddy. Worry about you. Make your own decisions.
2-minute warning.
4-minute warning.
The next thing out of James' mouth is keep your name out of my mouth.
Yeah. Yeah. Make your own decisions.
For those
You're a grown-ass man, Tim. It's an overnight camp, not a day camp. This is overnight camp now.
For those still listening,
I cannot wait till we play. That week, I'm coming for you, and you're going to hear from me all week.
I can't wait to shut my phone off. It's going to be so nice.
Right. Important question.
I'm closing this down. Go ahead. What's the important question?
I got to go to bed. I love you guys.
This is the way to close the show. Do our listeners in Norway know about fantasy football?
I am not sure. I haven't looked at the stats lately.
Norway, if you're listening, call in next week. Tell us what's going on. Give them the number, Marco.
The number is I don't know what the number for international will be, but it's 516.
So first of all, I just want to put out there, David from the UK was listening. So we get, Europe was out there tonight.
No, yeah. This is true.
Tim, you spoke over the number.
Yeah. 516-453-9383. We signed up for Twitch, so please follow us on Twitch. Everything else is going pretty good. It's at Bleedbigblue. We hit a milestone on Instagram, 15.5 thousand.
Nice.
Let's see.
Thank you.
Facebook is almost going to hit 41,000 followers.
Yeah, I would say by next week.
Twitter, we're at about 1,500, I think. Last I looked. And what else?
People follow us on Twitter. I know it's kids don't like Twitter, but hey, reach out.
Yeah. Yes, this is true.
People helping people.
Are we on Snapchat?
Oh my God. Sorry, it's 1,749 on Twitter. Whoops.
Ooh. Are we on Snapchat?
We are. I have a lot of followers on Snapchat.
Yeah, Snapchat's
the kids love
the kids
Snapchat.
are doing.
Yeah, they love that stuff.
Yeah.
And YouTube, we're over $1,000 on YouTube.
There you go.
So please, there's links in the descriptions. Hit them up. We'll see everyone next week, no?
You betcha.
Yeah.
All right, everyone.
After a Giants win.